Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 1480 Club for Thursday, May 12th, 2016. This is John Lewis, and we have live guests with us today in the studio. I've been talking about this week, plugging it ahead of time, from our local Cub Scout pack, John McComsky and David Gray. Dave and John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John.
Good morning, John. Really excited to be here.
I'm thrilled that you guys are here. I've been to some of your events. I know you both have kids that are in the pack, and I've seen the Pinewood Derby race this year. I said, you've got to come on the show and promote your next thing, and that's one of the reasons why you're here today. You guys have an event coming up soon.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so Saturday we're going to hold our Cub Scout scrap metal drive, and that's one of the areas that John and the other leaders of our local pack have come up with an idea on how we raise money to offset some of the additional costs associated with pack activities.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of that, what we're using, finding it especially this year, is we're using it to offset some of the costs of the summer camp programs. So we have 2 summer camps we send our kids to, or have opportunities for the kids to participate in. One's a day camp at Shawmut Park here in Hornell, and the other one's an overnight. It's a 3-night, 4-day overnight camp at Camp Gordon. So it's awesome opportunities for the kids, and with this scrap drive, we've been able to bring in some money, and we can put towards offset some of those costs.
Is this the first time you're doing a scrap drive?
No, so it's our second year. I think our Cub Scout leaders came up with an idea of what can we do that doesn't dig into the pockets of local residents like we do, or like every business does around town. And the idea of a scrap drive came up last year. So we launched it successfully about May this time last year, and we set up a big dumpster in North Hornell near the old Kmart, which is now the Silk Road warehouse location. We just let people clean out their garages and come in with whatever they want, any kind of scrap metal, aluminum, batteries, copper plumbing, things like that. And it's pretty easy, pretty painless.
So last year was a success.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Big success,
Yeah.
And we got a Alstom Transport, a local company here, was gracious enough to give us a nice skid full of material, which we sorted and then deposited along with our other scrap metals. So that was a big success.
Great. That's a good thing to have, a good thing to know as well.
Yes.
In preparation for this as well, I actually had a toaster oven that went kaput on me this last week.
That's perfect.
And today was my garbage day, but it did not make it in. It's outside of my house, ready for your scrap drive.
Yeah.
So beautiful. It looks gorgeous, but I wouldn't recommend anyone try to use this thing. So I'll make my small donation. John and Dave. John, tell us your title and your role in the pack.
Okay, I'm the Cub Master. So we have a den leader for each of our 5 dens. Okay, so 5 smaller groups, and the kids are divided up by grade level. So first grades are Tigers. Second graders are the Wolves, third graders are the Bears, and then you got the Webelos and the Arrow of Light Scouts, which are the second-year Webelos. So we have these 5 groups, and it's my job to sort of make sure all the den leaders have what they need to do their job, and plus help organize some of the bigger events, like the Pinewood Derby, which is the pack-wide event, camping trips, stuff like that.
And then, Dave, you are one of the den leaders, correct?
Right. So I joined the Cub Scout Pack 7 about 3 years ago when John was recruiting next round of leaders, and started out with the Tigers, and then my youngest son, Nicholas, was in that group. And I've moved along with our scouts year to year to year, and we're now through the Bears, and I'm going to be the Webelos leader next year.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then the year after, anticipating an Arrow of Light.
Oh, yeah. And all our scouts, I'll be an Arrow of Light. In fact, I told our scouts that as long as they stay in scouts, I'll be their leader and follow them up through Boy Scouts if they'd like.
Were either of you scouts yourselves growing up?
Yes, I was. I was a Cub Scout, and I spent a couple years in Boy Scouting, but I never got to Eagle Scout.
And Dave?
And likewise, I was a Cub Scout, and I started Boy Scout and spent a couple years in Scouts, and then other activities came in. But my best friend through high school, whatever, is not only a Boy Scout, he was an Eagle Scout, and he also became the Scout Executive for the Minneapolis-St. Paul, Minnesota area, and he is the Scout Executive of the Northern Star, one of the top guys in the United States.
And John, you were a Cub Scout at one point.
I was a Cub Scout as well, yes, at Spencer Church, which now is the Belfry, and they do art presentations there. But right before, when they were transitioning over, I popped down into the basement to see where our old den met. Those were the days. I still have the hat. It does not fit, but yeah, it's very small. And who is our district executive locally then?
Executive is Elizabeth Benedict, and she does a fantastic job of helping organize, all the local packs as well as the troops. Our district which is made up of communities like Canisteo and Arkport and Hornell and Dansville. I know I'm leaving a bunch out there, but we're part of the Thunderbird District, and there's a lot of things that are happening this summer, including the day camp at Shawmut Park. That's a district event. And I know Elizabeth couldn't make it today, but she wanted me to give a quick shout-out that, anybody who's interested in becoming a scout or joining scouting, visit beascout.org. Or also visit the local scout shop, which is at the Arnott Mall in Horseheads. 2 ways to, sort of plug into what's going on with scouting.
Great, and I've been in there as well, into the Arnott Mall scout shop. I've been there.
Yeah, and I'll just follow up. I think Elizabeth joined about this time last year, and she was part of the recruiting effort, and John and I found her very effective going into the schools at the end of summer or beginning at fall when school starts again. And so any of the families that have kids interested, that activity will be going on at that point in time, and Elizabeth and John or others of his leaders will probably be making presentations. So if you're interested, be, by all means, one of us or Elizabeth.
End of summer, beginning of school, we'll be searching again for all of the different dens. Today being Thursday, we're looking forward to Saturday, Scrap Metal Drive. Same location then, the former Kmart, which is now the Silk Road Storage. Is there a certain time, or you go up whenever you feel and put your items in the dumpster?
Mr. McCumpscar, we've got a time of 8 to 4 when we're going to have it manned. I guess if somebody had something of value that they couldn't meet in that time frame and they'd like to put it there, that'll be good.
Right.
Our activity will be there, and Ben Weitzman of Hornell was graciously giving us a dumpster, or putting it in the yard or in the parking lot at that point in time, and then our scouts will man it while the scrap drive's going on.
So a day-long activity.
Yeah, big dumpster. It's going to be hard to miss.
40-yard dumpster, so if anybody misses it, like John says, it'll be kind of tough.
I'm sure the scouts are going to be in their uniforms, ready to go, or is it almost a dress down because they might be handling some
we're
dirty
going to be
things?
Dressed down. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, but we'll have a big Pack 7 sign up to let people in.
And I want to make sure, John, much like last year, we've approached area businesses. We know people, as a result of this shout-out that you're putting today, will donate. But Alston Transportation has already given us a skid full of material. Again, Dykel Electronics has material for us to pick up. Transportation and Transit Associates, TTA, as people know it by, said that they were going to provide some materials. Ben Weitzman's going to be there again. My own company, GMI, is going to help out. In fact, they donate a wire stripping machine, too, to help us to process the material.
Great.
And get it down to the raw material like copper on wire and things that are going.
Yeah, which makes an incredible difference with the price you get at the scrapyard.
And what scrapyard do you take it to, or did you last year at least?
Ben Weitzman again. Weitzman supplied the dumpster. They come down, unroll the dumpster, and load it back up. Take it in. They weigh everything, and then off we go.
They've been great. Yep. So an incredible support by the community, local businesses. So it's been very cool.
Elizabeth has an office in Hornell in the Broadway Mall, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Stop in and see Elizabeth. But more than anything, we would really appreciate it if everyone, if you're thinking you know where you have a little piece of something or other, or maybe a big piece, head on down to the Scrap Metal Drive for our local Cub Scout pack.
Yep, it's going to help send some additional kids to camp that couldn't make it otherwise, So, yep.
And as my best friend, the Scout executive, says, scouting's all about values, and it's earned skills, life skills, if you will.
Dave, you said we would rather do something like this than ask people for money. They're working, they're earning this, and it's, in a way, me handing in a toaster oven that broke can still get you guys something something out of it.
Yeah, and part of the draw, in fact, talking to area businesses, they like the fact that the Scouts have to participate. They learn something about separation of materials, about recycling, about what the value of materials will be, and that's part of the reason they're very, very supportive, because it's not just a handout. It's an activity that, the Scouts actually learn something.
Yep, and that's what we like to say. Scouting is fun with a purpose. We're big on character development. That's one of the big purposes of scouting, and character development. Character is values in motion. So we try to act out these things that we promote.
So our Scout motto is do your best, and that's what we try to get the Scouts to do in any activity they're doing, including our scrap drive. So we'll ask, anybody listening to do their best and support us with whatever they have in their garage.
And before I ask for final comments, I remember being at the Pinewood Derby and seeing it looks like a V or a peace sign put up. Yes. Is that a secret, or are we allowed to know what that is? Is that a secret for the Scouts?
It's just the Cub Scout sign.
Okay.
Yep.
So when that sign goes up, right, if Mr. McComsky's having a meeting or I'm having a meeting, it means everybody, all eyes on the leader, and let's be quiet. Attention.
Great. So I saw that. That had to be flashed a few times in the heat of the battle during the Pinewood Derby, I imagine.
We use it liberally.
Yes. So thank you both for joining me on the 1480 Club. This is John Lewis, and for Brian O'Neill, we appreciate you spending your Thursday morning with us. John, do you have a final comment or any final thoughts before we let you go this morning? John McComsky.
Yes. No, I just thank you for the community in advance for anything you can offer up.
Wonderful. Dave Gray, same to you. Final comments or thoughts?
Same thing, and ditto to all the businesses that are supporting the Cub Scouts and Pac 7. Thank you.
And thank you guys for coming in. And again, one final time, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday in the old Kmart Plaza, now the Silk Road Transportation Warehouse. Stop by and say hello to the Scouts.